It's recording. You getting you guys? Motor vehicle crashes are the leading cause of death in the United States for people between the ages of 4 and 34, like this guy. And that's according to everydayhealth.com. Every one of you rides in a car almost every day, and you have the choice whether to wear your seatbelt or not. I can think of countless times that I've made the decision not to get into a vehicle and not wear my seatbelt, whether it is the proximity of my final destination or just because I don't want to wear it. Wearing your seatbelt is necessary and should be done every time you get into a car. In this speech, I will be talking about how often people wear their seatbelts, why they do or don't wear them, how much they can help, and why everyone should wear them every time they get into a car. Everyone has seen commercials for Click It or Ticket. This started in 1993 by Governor Jim Hunt, who first implemented this program in North Carolina. In May of 2002, the 10 states with the most comprehensive campaigns saw an increase of 8.6 percentage points, raising it from 68.5% to 77.1% in safety belt usage over a 4-week period. In Kansas, the police have been enforcing Click It or Ticket, which has increased the amount of people wearing seatbelts, according to the Kansas Department of Transportation. How many people are actually wearing seatbelts? As of 2005, the overall rate of consistent seatbelt usage was at an all-time high of 82%. Men between the ages of 19 to 29 are the least likely group to wear a seatbelt and are 3 times less likely to wear a seatbelt than women of the same age group, according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. 43,200 Americans died on the nation's highways in 2005. That's up about 600 from the previous year. And 55% of these people died because they weren't wearing seatbelts. Some people may think that they can take their seatbelts off or not put them on because they're close to their final destination. But 75% of crash injuries actually happen within 25 miles of your house or residence. And more than half of all injury accidents occur at speeds less than 40 miles an hour. Regardless of how close you are to home, had you just put your seatbelt on, it would have decreased serious injuries by 50% and fatalities by 60 or 70%. And if you're in a wreck like this, that's a pretty big deal. So, yep. 1 out of every 6 people who went to the hospital because of a car accident were wearing the seatbelt, as opposed to the 1 out of every 3 people who weren't wearing their seatbelts. Have you ever dropped your favorite CD onto the floorboards while you're driving and then unbuckled your seatbelt and then reached over and grabbed it? I know I have. This not only increases your chances of getting in a wreck, but if you do get in a wreck, you won't be wearing your seatbelt. This severely increases your chances of getting seriously injured or even killed. Another reason people choose not to wear their seatbelts is because they are broken and they're too lazy to get them fixed, or they don't have enough money to get them fixed. But what most people don't know is that if your seatbelt is broken, it's like a law that states that you can get your seatbelt fixed without any charge if you just take it to your dealership. With all these statistics, why don't people wear their seatbelts whenever they enter a motor vehicle? It comes down to simple hard-headedness, and that is just inexcusable. Seatbelts only do good things for us and will only help us out in the long run. The overall impact is that kids do what their parents do, and whenever a driver is buckled, 90% of the children were buckled too. And when the driver wasn't buckled, only 30% of the children were buckled at the time. And this is from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. If parents were to buckle themselves every time they got into a car, kids would see this, and then it would just become a habit for them and then last the rest of their lives. In this day of age, we always seem to be looking into the future. When you make the choice of not to wear your seatbelt, you're not only risking the future of yourself, you're risking the future of everybody that you're driving around too. You also affect a lot more people than you think when you make this choice not to wear your seatbelt. Whether it's your family or your friends, When you make the choice not to wear your seatbelt, someone is going to be affected by it if you get in a wreck. There's no reason that everyone that has a driver's license, that one, or you're just riding along, you should be wearing your seatbelt, since it increases your chances through a crash, and you could live a lot longer because of that. It could save your life, and all the other people's lives that you're riding with if you're wearing your seatbelt. It only takes a couple of seconds to click in that seatbelt, and that could help you survive and live much longer. Just 1 second can determine whether you live or whether you die. There we go.
Good job, Chris.